you have the discipline and you're careful and you learn how to be objective and you try not to be greedy, I believe it's something that you can do.
Every day, traders face a brutal truth. Success isn't about making more trades. It's about making the right trades. But why do so many traders struggle to get it right? The secret lies in one simple yet powerful skill: patience. Welcome back, traders. Today, we're going to talk about a topic that could change your entire approach to the markets: patience. But this isn't about waiting aimlessly. This is about learning when to wait, why to wait, and how to use that patience to maximize your trading profits. You see, in the fast-paced world of trading, it's easy to feel like you're missing out. Markets move quickly, and there's always the temptation to jump in early, to take that next opportunity, to beat the clock. But in reality, the most successful traders aren't the ones who are always on the go. They're the ones who wait for the right moment, and when they act, it's calculated, deliberate, and precise. Today, we're going to break down why patience is the most important trait you can develop as a trader. And I promise you, once you understand this, your entire mindset about trading will shift. Let's start with the basics. In any profession, the key to mastery often lies in one thing: understanding when to act and when to wait. For traders, it's no different. The markets are constantly changing, with new opportunities coming and going every minute. So how do you separate the winning trades from the losing ones? Simple: patience. Now I know what you're thinking. Patience? Isn't trading all about action? Don't I need to be active to make money? Here's the truth. Trading is about waiting for the right moment to act. You don't have to be constantly in motion, constantly pressing buttons, constantly watching every tick. The key to consistent success in trading is not how fast you can react. It's how long you can wait for the right setup and how confidently you can stick to your trading plan. Let's break this down with an example. Imagine you're a trader who enters and exits the market constantly, trying to catch every small movement. Sounds like a good strategy, right? Well, here's the problem. The more trades you take, the higher your chances of making mistakes, losing focus, and ultimately, losing money. Now let's contrast that with a trader who's a little more patient. They have a clear set of rules for when to enter a trade, and they stick to those rules, no matter what. They're not rushing, they're not impulsive. They wait for the perfect setup. And when they enter with conviction and confidence. Which trader do you think will have more consistent success? Of course, it's the second one. The one who waits for the right opportunity. But here's the thing. The waiting is the hard part. The real test isn't about finding the opportunity. It's about resisting the urge to jump in too early, to trade too often, and to act out of impatience. Let's take a deeper look at why patience is so difficult for traders. At its core, trading is a psychological game. There are a million emotions that come into play, especially when your hard-earned money is on the line. Fear, greed, anxiety, excitement. These emotions cloud judgment and lead to impulsive decisions. And you know what happens when you act on impulse in the markets? Losses. Now let's dig into a concept that every trader needs to understand. The human mind is hardwired for action. It's in our nature to want to see immediate results. If we're hungry, we eat. If we're tired, we sleep. If we want to make money, we trade. But trading is different. It's not about instant gratification. It's about strategic planning, timing, and controlling your emotional responses. And this is where patience comes into play. By learning to control those impulses, you gain a massive edge over traders who act based on emotions. You're no longer ruled by the urge to do something. You're calmly assessing the market, waiting for the right signals, and then executing your plan with confidence. Let's talk about the consequences of impulsive trading. When traders act out of fear or greed, they tend to make poor decisions. They chase trends, enter trades too early, and often exit too late. This leads to higher losses, emotional burnout, and ultimately, a feeling of desperation. Sound familiar? In contrast, traders who practice patience know that success in the markets doesn't come from chasing every move. They wait for setups that fit their strategy and have a high probability of success. By being patient, they take fewer trades, but each trade has more potential for profit because it's a well-planned move. Here's the golden rule: less is more. The less you trade, the less you expose yourself to unnecessary risks. If you're constantly in and out of the market, you're spreading yourself thin and making decisions under pressure. But if you're waiting for the right trade to come to you, one that fits all your criteria, you'll find that you're trading less but making more. And when you do take action, it's with full confidence, knowing that the odds are in your favor. You see, successful traders don't force the market to give them a profit. Instead, they wait for the market to offer the right opportunity, one that aligns with their strategy, one they've already analyzed and tested. In the next part of this video, we're going to dive deeper into how you can develop the patience muscle in your trading, so you can become the type of trader who knows when to act, and more importantly, when to wait. Patience in trading isn't just a trait, it's a skill that can be learned and honed over time. But how do you develop it? And what tools can you use to ensure your emotional discipline stays strong when the market tests you? Let's dive in. Now that we've explored why patience is so important, it's time to talk about how to develop it. And let me be clear, patience is a muscle. It's not something that comes naturally to most traders. But just like any muscle, the more you exercise it, the stronger it gets. The first step in building patience is reprogramming your mindset. You need to start viewing trading not as a game of immediate action, but as a long-term strategy. This shift in thinking is key to reducing impulsiveness. So how do we begin to reprogram our minds to make patience a core component of our trading strategy? The first step is to understand the true nature of the market. Let's break this down. The market does not reward traders for being the quickest to react. The market rewards those who understand market cycles, who can analyze data, and who know exactly when to act. The key here is knowing that not every movement in the market requires action. Markets ebb and flow. They have rhythms. And just because there's a lot of noise doesn't mean you need to respond to it. The most successful traders understand that not all opportunities are created equal. They recognize the difference between noise, random market movements, and signal, clear, actionable setups based on their trading strategy. As you start to view the market through this lens, you'll realize that patience isn't about doing nothing. It's about waiting for that perfect signal to show up. And that takes time. Now let's get practical. Here are some steps you can take to start building that patience into your daily trading routine. Step 1. Develop a clear and consistent trading plan. One of the best ways to foster patience in your trading is to create a trading plan, and more importantly, stick to it. This plan should outline your entry and exit criteria, your risk tolerance, and the type of trades you'll be making. But here's the kicker. Once you've made your plan, follow it without deviation. When you have a plan, you have a structure. It tells you exactly when to act and, perhaps more importantly, when to stay out. Without a plan, you're left reacting to the market, trading based on gut feelings or emotional impulses. And that's where mistakes happen. Let's say you've developed a strategy that has a clear entry point. You've done your research, you've back-tested it, and you know that it works. Now the hard part, waiting for the trade to set up. There's no need to force things. If the setup doesn't appear, you don't take the trade. Simple as that. Step 2. Stick to your rules, even when it's hard. Next, you need to stick to your rules. This can be difficult, especially when emotions start to run high. But trust me, your rules are your best friend. When you've got clear guidelines for when to enter and when to exit, you take the guesswork out of the equation. Now, I know the temptation to take a trade when you feel like you should. Maybe the market is moving quickly and you feel like you're missing out. But that's the FOMO, fear of missing out. And FOMO is a dangerous thing for a trader. Here's the truth. You will always miss out on some opportunities, and that's okay. What matters is that you're making decisions based on a set of rules, not emotions. The key to patience is resisting the urge to make decisions based on temporary impulses and sticking to your plan regardless of what's happening in the market. Step 3. Use tools to help you stick to your plan. If you're struggling to stick to your trading plan, there are tools you can use to help enforce discipline. Trading alarms, for instance, can alert you when a particular condition is met, so you're not glued to your screen all day. If you're trading based on certain technical patterns or indicators, set up automatic alerts so you only take action when your conditions are met. Another great tool is a trade journal. By tracking every trade you make, whether it's successful or not, you can begin to identify patterns in your behavior. Over time, you'll notice where you're most likely to deviate from your plan. The journal will highlight when you're making impulsive decisions and allow you to reflect on why you did so. The act of journaling your trades gives you a buffer between the market's noise and your emotions. It helps you stay objective and rational, ensuring that you're not trading on autopilot. Step 4. Focus on the long-term picture. Another powerful strategy for cultivating patience is to keep your focus on the long term. As traders, we tend to get wrapped up in the daily fluctuations of the market. But the real money comes from consistent long-term gains, not quick, short-term wins. When you shift your focus to the bigger picture, you start to see the market through a more strategic lens. You begin to understand that success in trading doesn't come from making lots of quick moves. It comes from making smart, calculated trades that align with your long-term strategy. And this is where patience becomes your biggest ally. The traders who are successful in the long run aren't the ones constantly chasing quick profits. They're the ones waiting for the perfect setups that align with their plan and executing them with precision. Step 5. Create a routine to manage emotions. Finally, let's talk about emotion management. Trading is emotional, but the good news is you can train your mind to handle those emotions better. Here's the truth. If you don't actively manage your emotions while trading, your emotions will manage you. So what can you do? Start by developing a daily routine that includes time for reflection and relaxation. Taking regular breaks, meditating, or simply stepping away from the screen for a few minutes can help reset your mind and reduce stress. The more you manage your emotions away from the charts, the more patient and disciplined you'll become when you're actually trading. Patience isn't just about waiting for a good trade to come along. It's about managing your mental state so you can make the best decisions when the right moment arrives. Now that we've talked about developing patience and emotional discipline, let's explore how to turn patience into a sustainable habit in your trading. Because true success doesn't come from short bursts of willpower. It comes from creating lasting habits that support your growth as a trader. We've all had those days where everything seems to fall into place, and we make all the right decisions. But consistency? Consistency is the real challenge. Trading is a long-term game, and to thrive, you need to consistently apply the patience you've developed over time. So how do we turn that into a sustainable habit? The first step is to understand that trading is a marathon, not a sprint. It's easy to get excited about quick wins, but those won't keep you profitable in the long run. To build a sustainable trading career, you need to approach it with the same level of patience you'd apply to any long-term goal, whether that's building wealth, improving your fitness, or learning a new skill. And just like those other pursuits, you have to commit to it every single day. Building long-term patience. Let's break down a simple approach to ensure you develop long-term patience. Start by creating a routine that prioritizes consistency over impulsive action. The key is to avoid the temptation to trade based on random market noise or emotional swings. Here's how you can do that. Set weekly goals. Rather than focusing on daily profits or losses, set goals for your week. Ask yourself, what kind of trades do I want to focus on this week? How many trades will I commit to based on my plan? Track your progress. Keep a detailed journal, but take it a step further. Track your emotional state during trades. Were you feeling anxious or excited when making certain decisions? If so, those emotional responses can guide your improvements in the future. Review your results, not just your wins and losses. After every week, review the quality of the trades you made. Were they in line with your strategy? Did you resist impulsive moves? This will help you evaluate your patience over time. How to handle setbacks without losing patience. In trading, you will experience setbacks. Everyone does. It's inevitable. But the difference between an average trader and a successful one is how they handle those setbacks. When you face a loss, it's easy to feel frustrated or want to chase that loss back. But remember, the moment you react emotionally to a loss, you're no longer trading based on patience and discipline. You're trading out of fear or desperation. Here's how to bounce back without losing your patience. Accept losses as part of the process. Every trader loses at some point. It's part of the game. The key is to learn from each loss. When you accept that losses are inevitable, you remove the emotional charge that they carry, and in turn, you make better decisions. Take a step back. After a loss, take a break. Don't rush back into the market to make up for lost ground. You've trained yourself to wait for the right opportunities. Now is the time to apply that lesson. A short break will give you perspective and prevent rash decisions. Analyze what went wrong. Losses are great teachers. Review what went wrong. Did you break your rules? Did you act impulsively? Did you trade outside of your strategy? Analyzing losses is a critical part of becoming a patient, disciplined trader. It's also an opportunity to strengthen your patience and ensure you don't make the same mistake again. The role of mindset in maintaining patience over time. Now, let's talk about mindset. Patience isn't just something you apply to individual trades. It's a way of thinking that you must integrate into every aspect of your trading routine. The right mindset can ensure that you stick with your patient approach, even when faced with temptations to act impulsively. So what does the right mindset look like? Here are some key elements. Focus on the process, not just the outcome. Too many traders are obsessed with the end result. They're looking at their profits or losses, and that drives their decisions. But if you focus on the process, the strategy, the patience, and the discipline, you'll naturally make better decisions. The outcome will follow. Embrace patience as a competitive advantage. The markets reward those who are willing to wait. By embracing patience, you set yourself apart from the average trader who is constantly making rash decisions. Patience gives you a competitive edge because it allows you to wait for the most favorable setups, while others are getting caught up in market noise. Shift from short-term thinking to long-term vision. It's important to realize that in trading, small wins lead to bigger ones. By consistently applying patience, you'll see growth over time, even if that growth isn't immediate. The more you practice patience, the more your confidence grows, and your results will reflect that. Turning patience into a habit you can't break. The key to making patience a sustainable habit is to keep building on it day after day. Here are a few tips to make sure that patience stays front and center in your trading. Consistency is key. Stick to your trading plan, follow your strategy, and give yourself permission to wait. The more you practice patience, the more it becomes ingrained in your mindset. Eventually, patience won't just be something you apply. It will become your default approach. Reward yourself for patience. It sounds simple, but take a moment to celebrate your ability to wait. When you follow your plan and resist impulsive trades, reward yourself. This could be something small, like a short break or a coffee, but it helps reinforce the idea that patience leads to better outcomes. Surround yourself with like-minded traders. Find communities or mentors who also prioritize patience and disciplined trading. Surrounding yourself with others who share this mindset will encourage you to stay focused and consistent. The more you immerse yourself in the world of patient traders, the more natural this habit becomes for you. The end goal: a patience-driven trading mindset. Patience is the backbone of success in trading. It's not just about the ability to sit back and wait. It's about having the mental discipline to execute your strategy even when the market seems chaotic. It's about resisting the temptation to chase every move and instead focusing on the opportunities that are truly aligned with your plan. By developing patience, you don't just improve your trading, you transform your approach to the market. And when you do that, you're not just making better trades. You're building a sustainable career, one that's built on consistent profits and emotional control. Patience doesn't come overnight, but with practice, it becomes second nature. Stay committed, keep building your mental strength, and you'll see your trading results improve.